Dankeschön. Thank you for all the joints and paint. Can I smell that taint? Ain't it great? Shooting straight. Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön. Thank you for all the joints and paint. Can I lick that taint? Shooting straight. Ain't it great? It's innate. Whoa, what's going on, baby boys, baby girls, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another So-So production on a Wednesday, September the 28th, 2022. No big deal. Doing it with the gang, with the crew, wherever you are, whether you're in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, down in the US, down in Mexico, South America, North Pole, South Pole, Asia, Europe, Africa, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, the islands, everywhere. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having fun. We're live and kicking, baby. Let's get right into it. We're going to have some fun. If you're just joining us today, thank you very much. Buckle up, buckle down. If you're a long-time viewer and listener, thank you very much for all the love and support. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram, on Patreon, on YouTube. Go ahead and follow me, subscribe. Let's have some fun. Let's get a sip of this first. Dankeschön, darling, dankeschön. Thank you for all the joints and paint. Can I lick that taint? Shooting straight, ain't it great? That's right. What are we talking about today? Loose as a goose. We're going to talk about dirty laundry, baby. Dirty laundry. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. That's what it is, baby. It's 2022. We're moving into 2023. Some things of the old will remain the same. Some things will come about. It's a new emergence. I was just reading an article that I've heard about this some time ago, maybe in the past decade. Very little. But again, I read another article that reiterated the same point. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about dirty laundry, baby. What are you talking about? I'm talking about them dirty drawers. I'm talking about them dirty socks. I'm talking about them dirty shoes, them dirty skirts, them dirty pants, them dirty blouses, I wanted to say. They got mixed up with browsers and blouses. Blouses. Dirty blouses. Blouses. That's what it is. Secondhand. That's what I'm talking about. But it's, man, blouses. Anywho, anywhere, anytime, should you find yourself wanting to spend a little bit of money on them brand name clothing items, but you find yourself in a position where you're fiscally compromised, you're looking at the bank accounts, not enough zeros, not enough commas, but you're like, man, I still want to get the Gucci, still want to get the Prada, still want to get the whatevs, them name brand clothing items, but you don't have that dough, you don't have that moolah, you don't have that cheddar. What's in market? Renting. Why own it when you can rent it is what they're trying to tell you, is what they're telling us. Who's they, them? I don't know, but someone's saying it. They said you won't own a thing and you'll be happy about it. It's not the same, but it's a trickle-down effect of that same mentality. Don't buy the brands, rent the brands. You know? Part ownership, that shit. Rent to own, but no ownership. Rent to rent, but with clothing items. Excuse me? Blouses. Reading an article where it's becoming a thing where people are going about and in search of, I guess, quote unquote, vintage or unique items of clothing, instead of spending the whole bank, instead of emptying the old bag, you empty a portion of it and you rent it for a night or day. And it got me to think about different stuff. Because we'll get into it, man. We'll get into a little bit of it. It's all, we'll get into it. We'll have some fun. But here's the thing. When I was out on Saturday shadowing my brother, trying to give a hand, trying to be of assistance, I was in my shoes the entire day. And I've worn the same pair of shoes, this comfortable pair of Nikes runners that I've got for about 2 years now. Maybe give or take a little bit more, a little bit less, but 2 years. Constant wear, constant tear. I've got my money's worth. And I noticed after spending a whole day on my feet that these bad boys were, man, I could smell my feet, dude. I'm not gonna lie. And this, whatevs. That's what a little bit of stinky feet, a little bit of that cheddar, a little bit of that Cheetos, baby. That's a man that's working. That's a lady that's sturdy. That's a lady you can depend on. Little hint of Cheetos. Oh man, she's a go-getter. She's a man. Them stinky toes, that's character. Those are beautiful attributes, a little bit. You don't want to go too far along the spectrum because then that's just like, oh man, what is this god awful smell? Not to say that it wasn't god awful, but I mean, it's not like, it's still tolerable, but still noticeable nonetheless. And I was just like, man, and I read that article and I was just like, man, people are renting out their used clothing items. Maybe this could be a thing. And I'm like, this, oh man, there's so many layers to this bad movie because like with ladies, I could definitely see a market potentially if you really want to buy a brand name but you don't want to spend the whole bag, or if you want to wear something unique but you don't want to spend a ton of money on it, you might go rent it for an evening or two or a weekend or whatever the time period may be, and you get the usage, and that may be okay for the ladies. Like I could see, you know what I mean, like, because that's the thing, ladies in general, generically speaking, umbrella of ladies are just more, you ladies smell nicer, you're cleaner, you're aesthetically more clean, you're visually more clean, you smell nicer, you're just, guys are, oh man. So I was thinking about that. I'm like, maybe there's a little market for ladies if that's a thing. If vintage, unique, brand name, non-brand names are your thing and you don't want to spend the whole bag, like I said, it might be a thing. I don't know if you're for it or against it. I don't particularly have a dog in the fight, but it is interesting because it got me to think. I'm like, man, I got these dirty shoes and it's vintage. It's retro wave right now. It's synth wave. Oh man, it stinks. Especially if you wear it for a couple of hours, because I got my money's worth. See? You see? Got my money's worth, eh? That's what it is, and it stinks. But I'm willing to man, I want to get in on this. And for our beautiful viewers and listeners and supporters, I'm offering for you to be part owner of my 2.5, 3-year-old pair of shoes, stinky Nikes that I've got, for a low, cool, crisp price of $1 million. And I know, just rob me blind. I know, bargain, what a steal, just as is. We will take care of that. Guess what? Shipping, don't worry about it. Just a cool, calm, collected Millie. Don't worry about the shipping. We'll get it out to you. And I got more. Not much actually, because I'm going to need that back real soon, because it's like, man, that's my favorite pair of shoes, my only pair of shoes. And then I got a couple of Converses that I'll like rock every once in a while, but Papa needs them runners until we break out into the boots for wintertime. But in the mean, that's the thing. Right now, it's that season where I can break into the boots. I can't afford to rent the old, dirty, vintage. Oh man, that's that. You put that Nike on from a couple of years ago, them reg runners, dude, lady, that's swag, dude. That is vintage, a couple of years old, ample amounts of, good, you put your feet in there a couple of hours, soon you'll start to be like, oh man, and that's vintage. And I'm, again, cool million. And we don't do any of that stuff, because some people are like, man, do you clean these things? Do you personally? No, I don't dry clean it. I don't take these, I'm not taking shoes or clothing items into the middle of the Sahara Desert, which is basically desert, for twice the effect. And I'm not dry cleaning this. I'm not getting the hives and just, because I want it to be vintage. I want it to be unique, authentic. You don't want to just get something secondhand and be like, oh, this doesn't smell. I'm giving you that full experience for $1 million. And I'm not going to just stop there, because the stinky shoes, stinky socks, yeah, I got you, baby. I got you for another $500,000. Dirty socks, dude. I got dirty socks. We're talking dirty laundry today. What you know about that? And we're not going to stop there either, because this market, I'm thinking, man, because there's ladies out there selling photos of their feet, and just like, I'm thinking, this guys, we could definitely get in on this action too, fellas. You know what I mean? I don't know who my consumers will be, who my demographics gonna be, but the Dems are the Dems. The Dems speak for themselves. And I don't know which category I'm gonna be renting to the most, but maybe some fellas will be into it, maybe some ladies are into it. I don't know how much ladies are into dirty guy feet, dude feet, you know what I'm saying? Because like, guys will appreciate a lady's feet, a little bit of dirt, no dirt, some dirt, medium dirt, large quantity of dirt, just a pile of dirt and a lady's feet. Well, man, sold. I'll take it. You know what I mean? That's a fella. That's a lady, dirty feet. I don't know how much, That's gonna be, but there's a market for everything, and I'm willing to, I don't need to cater to everybody. I don't need to cater to everybody. You don't need to either. It's like, man, you either like it, or it's like, okay, there's plenty of other dirty feet. You know what I mean? So to each their own. That's what I say, man. But I don't know. I don't know what is. I got a few vintage underwear. With other people's names on it. Not too many. I got vintage. 5 to 10 year old Calvin Kleins. Used to be red. It's like it's like a mild orange right now. You could see the threads. It wasn't always see-through, I'll tell you that. It is now transparent at the back portion because of the thighs when they rub, right? But I got, instead of going, because there's other platforms, other podcasts which I support all the time, and the companies are coming in and they're like, we'll give you, we'll sponsor you. We'll be like underwear sponsors, with and there's beautiful underwears for men and women to tuck your shaft in the shaft holder. The nut has an extra bag for your nuts. The head has a head space for your head with a tiny plug. You can even plug, so everything's just like firm and tilted right. So when you take off them pants, it's like, what is that? Oh my God, what is that? A model of sorts, a male model, a male underwear model of sorts, and maybe not often, but maybe. But that's for ladies. We got underwear with labia pockets, little pockets for your it goes by age too. The older you get, the longer that pocket we'll make that pocket as long as you need us to make. We'll make it go as low as your kneecap if need be, and we'll make it because that's the type of underwear that we will collaborate with down the line. Point being, right now we're not there, but I'm willing to put what's available to us on the line, all of it on the table, so ladies can take advantage of this, and it's vintage, right? So there's that market where it's like, oh man, these brand new underwears make my genitals look just bueno, immaculate packaging. Whereas with this vintage, it's loose, no elasticity, lack of elasticity. Some of the elasticity is, I don't know where it went. I see some elastic bands poking out the side, it's a good sign. There's elastic. It used to be, I think cotton, what is remaining of it is up for question, but nonetheless, it's standing on its own. Using your help, it will stand on its own. It has lost all its shape and form, but vintage, and hey, for a cool 500,000, easy breezy. And with the inflation, again, you guys are, man, just take it and walk away. I'm just gonna, cause this is, God, man, you guys are stealing. Broad daylight, legit, broad daylight, getting away with it. I'm not even, hey man, you're in cahoots with the cops. I'm not even gonna bother picking up the phone. 500, it's gone. I don't even care, it's fine. You're like, how will you feed your family with that? Honestly, I don't have a family, but nonetheless, and that's potentially another story for another time. But what I'm trying to get to is that we're putting everything on the table. We're putting everything on the table. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to hold back. No longer will I hold back. Every market we will penetrate. Our tentacles will run deep in every market. Oh, how far do the tentacles go? Deep. Underground, overground, in between grounds. Okay? And that's dirty laundry for you. And dirty, stinky male feet. Yeah, again, ladies' feet will take all day, any day, most feet. We don't, I'm not even a feet person. I'm just saying these are the areas of, like, if the back of your kneecap smelt a little bit, I focus on that, but it doesn't. It's mostly feet. It's mostly the crotchal area, and again, like, that's the thing. Fancy bras, for example, I could make, or fancy garments, or like lingerie. Is that a thing that maybe ladies would be like, okay, maybe like, a lady with this same voice, okay, I need to just put these puppies on display tonight, wear a nice pair of stilettos, also rented, because everything's got to be rented, so you get that, because you look like $1 million, but guess what, you only spent, it's like 750,000, worth it. Brand names, worth it. That's what I'm saying, you know what I mean? Whatever, brand name, just, oh man, walking on carpets, you're going out walking on multiple carpets. There are flying carpets and you're walking and there are photos being taken on flying carpets. There's a shaggy carpet. You're tripping because you're wearing stilettos on that shaggy carpet. Oh, face plummet on the shaggy carpet. No CTE, thank you. Why? Depth. It's thick. Okay? But that's just shaggy carpets. What I'm trying to get to is people are renting used clothing items. What is it? Is it object fetishism? Is it that you can't live without brands? Is it that we're so dedicated to brands that we'll do anything, reach into our pockets and grab those hard-earned dollar bills and just be like, oh, I need that Poochie. Oh, I need the, you know, I need the red tops. I need the, I need that. I need that little man. I need that little man. I need that little man riding a little pony, holding a little baton, twirling a little baton. I need a little man on a little horsey, just throwing up batons, cause and there's levels to it, of course, you know what I mean? But different brands, different levels, and we're all about, like, oh, stack it up, levels. But the point is, ladies could potentially take advantage of this. Fellas could also take advantage of that. As a matter of fact, I should be talking about this as if I'm going to be taking advantage. You are taking advantage. We are taking advantage of this. That's right. We're in it together. And like I said, my underwear, my dirty socks, my dirty shoes on the table. Again, they said you won't own it, but you'll be happy about it. And we're about to test it out in small little groups. I don't know if it's going to take off or not, but it is a thing. Man, dirty underwear, because dirty underwear. Pros and cons of having dirty underwear or dirty socks, dirty underwear, dirty socks. Let's go through it. Dirty socks, for example, let's say little 29-year-old Jimmy is out on a hike with his doggo, Jimmy and Jimbo, right? And something happens in the woods. Jimmy's gone. What does Jumbo what does Jumbo Jimbo do for Jimmy? Man, what does a doggo do for the owner in this scenario, am I right? As his owner is disappearing mysteriously, doggo grabs just a little bit of that dirty old sock, them stinky toes, grab a little sock, right? And he's running forward to find help. Ears flapping, tail wagging, feet in motion, off the ground, levitating dog, finds a person. Now you're the person greeting the dog, being receptive towards the dog. The dog is coming right at you and he's got some sort of cloth in his mouth, and you haven't seen a beautiful dog like this in a while, and you're like, man, I love doggos. And you get down there, you start playing around with the dog, you're like, oh, who's a good boy, and he's like, oh, I'm a good boy. But in the middle of this, he's got a message to deliver to you, and that is that his owner, Jumbo is missing. And you notice, in his canine teeth right there, while he's licking you in your face, while he's licking your asshole, while you're licking his asshole, you notice, while you guys are 69, and you notice this red dirty half a sock hanging from his canine mouth, and you grab it. You're like, what is that, Jumbo? Because you've read his name tag that says Jumbo on it, and you're like, what is that, Jimbo? Who's a good boy, Jimbo? And he's like, owner's missing, and you're like, take me to your owner, and he's like, I don't know where he's at, and talking, and you guys are just like bonding, and you're like, okay, no problem. You go down to the local station, police station number 3942, station number 41. Solid station that exists, and you're like, I'd like to speak with the canine department, please. And as soon as you say canine department, all them canine bitches ears going up, dude, because they've had the surgery, which makes it easy for the ears to point up. That's a retriever of a dog that's got that fucking nice hefty tail, been in the business for about 7 years, sniffing coke, sniffing ass cracks, finding little balloons filled with narcotics in people's assholes, and they're getting excited. They're like, who said canine unit? Who did I hear canine unit? And they're wagging their tails and just like, oh, I can't wait to get coked up and do work, is what they're saying, right? And they bring him out and they're like, no, it's not coke this time. They're like, oh, all right, fine, what else? What do we find? You're like, missing person, little Jimmy. How little was he? Weighed like 5'10". You're like, no, 29, but he's like little as in he's still somebody's child. There's a father, there's a mother. Have some heart. He's, of course, a grown man, but little to somebody. Somebody still calls, oh man, that's my son, is what they'll say when they find out. But aside the point, stinky socks. Pros, we wanted to get to the pros of this. They'll be able to like give it to the doggo, the canine, and they'll sniff it and be like, oh, that's Jimmy's scent. and they'll find Jimmy. Luckily, in time. Why? Dirty socks. Had Jimmy been the type of fella that's like, oh, I'm too good to wear the same pair of socks over, I wear a sock a day. I'm that type of fella. I'm schmancy Jimbo. Schmancy Jimbo. Socks for days. Sock City. I can just not even look and reach into a drawer. New sock is what you'll say. You haven't seen a hole in your socks, Jimbo, in ever. And if that is you, you are in trouble, mister, because you've left no sign of yourself using that sock, which is why we're offering you socks so you don't have to put in the work. Fella, you're living that. You're like, what does it feel like to wear the same sock? I'm providing that service. And that's not all that we provide. Happy endings all day, every day. That's what we do. Happy beginning, middle, and ends. You heard it here first. It's been other places too, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean, right? What do you mean? What do I mean? What do we mean? Dirty laundry, if you catch my drift. Point is that there's a market for everything, and that's just the pro of it. The con of it is that, again, if you on the spectrum of stinky, if you go far beyond the norms and standards, like, 0 point anything to like 2, 3, pushing 4, that's the thing. If you're going beyond 4, if you're reaching beyond 4, if you're close to 8 and 9, 8, 9, 10 is street level odor, which is no bueno. You've gone way too far. Reel it in. 3 to 4 is like, man, that lady works. That lady is a blue collar, stinky feet lady. I can dig that, No stink. Are you even human? No stink. Are you even human? No smell. I'm not saying it's got to be like, but you got to have something. Everybody does. And that's what it is. And that's what I'm telling myself. And it's time to get new shoes. But the point is that I want to be able to, that's reusing what we've got. And also it's like multiple birds. Literally, the stone was purchased so long ago. So it's like, I'm not even spending stones at this moment. And it's all about reinvesting what you have and scaling it. And yeah, I can only make X amount of dirty underwear and shoes per day on my own, but I will, down the line, we'll get plenty of dirty feet in this business. No worries. Because the people want it, there's a demand. I will create a supply chain. I'm behind it. In front of it, I'm spearheading this movement. It's already been started, but I'm gonna be the poster feet of this movement. That's right, the poster feet. My feet. Selling men's used dirty shoes and socks. And ankle warmers too. We'll get it. We'll open up a whole new market. Ankle warmers, also dirty. It's a thing. But it can save marriages. You're like, what, stinky underwear? Yeah. I'm gonna get right into it as soon as I have a sip. Stinky or just rag underwear. You're like, how do I save a marriage or just keep a marriage spicy? Keep my fella thinking about me when he's at work? How you say it like that? Ladies, this qualifies for your category. You're welcome. Shout out to the women's. The women's and the men's, dude. Doing it together. Women's and the you guys, that's an M. That's an M. Yeah. Point is, you want to get a relationship. You're in a relationship. It's been rock steady. It's been good times all day, every day. Doesn't matter. You're in it. How do you, and you're like, I want to just have my husband thinking about me all day until he gets from work to back to home, and so that he could crack that back, so that he could, you know what I'm saying, ladies, so that he can crack that back. You know what I'm saying? You could put it down. Because you want your man to crack a backbone or two. You feel me? You want that. Oh, That's what it is. How do you keep his mind on you? Excellent question. Glad you asked. You take your panty, your G-string, your panty, you gently, to your own accord, place it inside your vagina where things are easily, it's like a pouch. Works like it's like a human pocket. It's magic. It's got so many uses. But you put it in there for a couple of minutes, and maybe you'll walk around the living room, back and forth. Just work up a little sweat, no worries. You take it out to your own accord, at your own discretion. You take it out, you hand it over to your special loved one. And he or she is gonna stick it right in their pocket, their coat pocket. He or she will stick it in their coat pocket and carry on to work. And the entire day while Eric is working away, yes, the report is coming, John. Eric is busy. John's on his ass, and he's just like, oh man, John, I know we're a team, and I know this has got to get done by the end of the day. I'm working on it. He's on his pager. He's on his typewriter. He's got his, he's got them. I don't know what they're called, but I remember those old-timey things that they used to, the bankers or tellers had around their arms, so it would keep up their long sleeve shirts. He has one of those. Eric's got one of those. And yeah, typewriter, pager, things around the, I don't know what they're called, but sleeve holders, probably sleeve fasteners. Let's bring that back. We are bringing it back. It's a thing. We're gonna make it. Point is, that removed the entire hair around his bicep region, and that's that's how you knew a man was a working man back in the day. When he take off his shirt at the end of the night, you see a patch of hair missing, because that sleeve tightener fastener it was metal. Men were hard. Point is that he has Eric, while dealing with the company business and speaking with John and Lisa downstairs, and everybody's working together. Every once in a while, he'll just sniff in the old pocket, in the old coat pocket, because what we got here, it's just magic for days, just odor, a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like, I can't wait to get home to my boo so I can crack that back. And that's how you keep the marriage going, baby. You're welcome, ladies, gentlemen. Try it out. How can you try it out, gentlemen? Not giving this too much thought, so the ladies could definitely use the badge, because works that way. Biology, fucking science, dude. Men, you could shove to your own accord, place your boxers, your giant boxers, inside that pee hole. Will there be bleeding, you ask? Will there be screaming? And will there be scratching? Will it be painful? Listen, I'm not here to sugarcoat it, yes. But how bad do you want this thing to work? You're like, man, my marriage is just fine. I could do without all these things you're saying, and that's great. I'm so happy for you. But let's say it's great, or you just want to take it up a level. You know what I mean? Nothing like inserted underwear to gift to your loved one. Why? Because it's got that. You're dabbing, and you're giving away dabs to your partner from you. What's more romantic than that? And sure, there's different orifices for everybody. But again, I'm not here to tell you what to do, and have fun with it. And that's another niche market that we can get into, that we're already into. That's right, we're already into it. We did it. We've done it. Some people say do it. This pair of Nikes is gone, done, did it. It's out of here. Soon, with your help. What do you guys think? What do you gals think? Is it a thing? Recycling? Is it reusing? Is it a thing? Man, I don't know. How do I feel about this? I don't feel I can't, unless it's like a significant event of sorts, and for whatever reason, a regular suit or something doesn't do it. It has to be like a special tux for whatever odd reason. What's an odd reason that you could need a special tux for? I could potentially be invited to a gala. I could be invited to a gala. I don't know what a gala is, but a gala is nothing more than a bunch of people fundraising. It's a fundraising gala. Regular gala hours too, between 6 to 11 p.m. And you can bring a guest to the gala. And it's a fundraiser, I'll tell you that much about it. And that's all you need to know. Maybe at this gala, I need to have like a special tux. But I can't afford a special tux, and it's got to be like a brand name tux. Why can't it be a regular tux? You say, I don't know. In this particular peculiar situation, we're going with, oh, it needs to be like, oh, someone's name needs to be just giant on it, and still be asking, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? Skin. That's skin. My skin. And then what about on top of that? Hair. And what are you wearing on top of that? Hair. My clothes, your clothes, we're wearing clothes. That's what we're wearing. Oh man. They'll ask you, and we'll ask each other, what are you wearing? What am I wearing? It's a thing. People do ask questions. Or not. But, in hypothetical situations, of course. Man, oh man. Ladies and gentlemen. Stinky shoes, stinky feet. Stinky underwear. What else could you, Yeah. Pros and cons of stinky shoes and stinky underwear. Stinky clothing items in general. Pros. Again, trustworthy fella. A fella or a lady who works. A fella or a lady who can be relied upon in times of need. They used to look at in order to determine if a man was qualified to be a functioning individual in society, they used to have a test to look at the palm of your hands and see if you got any calluses, and that meant that calluses, good man, works. Stinky feet, also another indicator, good man, works. That was a good sign. And then at one point we're like, oh man, I'm too good for calluses. I'm too good for stinky feet. That's all I'm saying. And I don't want there to be a misconception. I don't have it's not a thing. I don't want this to be about me, but it is related to that reuse recycle concept. That's what it is, baby. Should you reuse recycle clothing in that sense? Could you rent it out? I don't know. I don't feel comfortable about it. I can't see myself consuming somebody else's secondhand clothing items for a specific time and then having to return it. It's just too much work. Just get no brands, get no names, get whatever. There's so many unique items out there. Why would you have to? I get, secondhand for cheaper, I get it, but for the sake of wanting brand name items and then you go and fork out more money to rent something that is just somebody else's name is on it, doesn't make sense. It does to some people. I'm not, if it makes you happy, do it up. But if it makes you happy and you're getting happiness through clothing items with brand names, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Whatever brings you happiness, because you gotta have consumers, you gotta have consumption as well. I guess it could be fun, maybe getting into somebody's dirty laundry. Oh, I'm wearing such and such is, oh man, and then you can have dirty, oh man. I bet you, because that's the thing, oh man. Then you can have celebrities who'd sell or rent their dirty laundries, their dirty clothing items, so that, people can be like, oh, I'm dressed like such and such, and I smell like such and such. And then celebrities are the really rich folks can rent regular people's clothing items in exchange to be like, oh, I'm so regular. Because you see that cross-culturally, you'll see that, it happens. A gajillionaire wearing oh, I'm just gonna wear I've got all the monies, but I'm just gonna wear one outfit every day because I'm regular like that. But you're that's too regular. Because regular people do have clothing items. It's like one thing. I'm just gonna. I don't have time. I'm just gonna wear one thing and one thing only. That's weird. I can't get that either. I think Steve Jobs did that. I mean, some other people would do that. Just like one. Yeah, that's very. That's like a. That's weird. But what if it's like a dope outfit? What if it's like a dope outfit? Would I want to wear one thing for the? Would you want to wear one thing for the rest? Oh man, no, I can't. No, that thought is just too. No, man, I don't care how dope it is. You're like, well, what if it was like this costume or that costume for the rest of my life? Just like one thing? Oh no. Man, so that's. But you're like, if it's a dope outfit, okay, man. That is a tricky question. Because if it's a dope outfit, are we talking capes? Are we talking underwear on top of pants? High boots? And it's like a nice tight fabric which also keeps you warm. And did I mention there's going to be a cape too? There's going to be a cape. Nothing like superhero-y-ish, because I'm not into that, but the concept of a cape has always been appealing to me, not going to lie. So in that sense, if I could wear one item, too much, because like summertime caping in summertime, caping in like spring, fall, winter caping, good times. Spring is still probably a little bit too much, but like summer caping, that's why it's called the dark night, dude, because like in morning time, it just be like too much heat. So what am I doing here? Too many layers, but like dark, no sunlight, it's like it can keep you warm and cool at the same rate. So that's why that's a thing. Man, oh man. No, I would not wear the same thing all day, every day. I can't. That's too claustrophobic of a thought to just wear one thing for the rest of your life. So go ahead and rent these $1 million shoes that I've got for rent, and also the underwear. Again, cool, 500 thou, easy breezy. You don't gotta think about nothing. How dirty is it? How dirty do you want it? You know what I mean? How dirty do you want it? And that goes for everybody out there. There's everything for everybody. There's some that are like, there's some you could do like bare minimum dirtness, where a lady or a fella wears it, immediately takes it off, and that's like, okay, it's been used, but not that used. And then there's levels to this. You can wear it for hours. You can maybe wear something for a day. Now we're talking dirty laundry. Now we're talking, oh, what is that? Just like, oh my God, pubic hair. Actually, you know what? Keep it. I tossed it out, but you keep it. We will put it in there for you. That's where it's at, baby. That's service. That's what I'm talking. That's the happy ending that I'm talking about. Because you'll get things anywhere, and you'll be like, and you'll open it up and be like, "This is vintage." But where can you find actual pubic hair? Right here, right here. I'll do it, dude. I'll reach into my pants. I'll grab oh man, I've been growing too. I've been growing my own batch. It's a good solid batch. It's aged now. Thank you very much. No GMOs, no artificial intelligence. All of it is superficial. It's all, what you see is what you get. That's where it's at, baby. That's what we do. Organic, authentic pubic hair in the vintage underwear that we're renting. That's right. Yeah, because I bet there's going to be, I don't know how. Guys will definitely consume this. Guys will consume all this. Ladies is going to be a little bit of a challenging market for us to penetrate. Because again, I don't know how much ladies are into dirty feet, dirty underwear. Guys will buy anything from a lady. God. But we can't sell everything to a lady. Which is, it's a buyers and sellers market, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's that buyers and sellers market. Buy the dip, sell high. That's right. That's a saying when it comes to trading and markets. and stock, I think. But I don't know much about stock. Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about like cattle? Because I still wouldn't know much about cattle either. I know how to like, you give me, if you're like for half a day to a day, I'll come and like, I'll wrangle a couple of cattle, dude. You know what I mean? With my stinky shoes, dude, I'll get in there. I'll get new shoes if we're wrangling cattle, I'll get new shoes. I'll get cowboy boots. Brand new spanking cowboy shoes. And I will, if we're talking cattle, we'll come in there and like, oh man, I will. Once I'm there, I'll know what to do. It's because it's easy to just be like, it's easy to go. It's so I've seen it. I've seen you guys. I'd probably be on a horse. I'd be on a horse, dude, and I'd just go around the cattle and guide them, as one does with cattle. By the end of the day, I will probably, the day spent on the farm, like a real man. Those shoes were probably gonna smell a little bit, not gonna lie, and I could still rent those shoes too, and those could be like, oh man, from the farm to table. You could put it on your table. Could be like a decorative piece. It doesn't have to be just for consumption. You can like get it for a day and just look at it. You could put it on too. It's your time, your money. Do whatever you want with it. But if I'm in the dirt and the mud and the cattle, wrangling up cattle, it's gonna get dirty in there. I'm not gonna lie to you. So, but that's what I promised from the get-go. And from the get-go. That's right. Right from the get-go. Promise it. Deliver it. Through and through, I stick to my word. That's what I does around here. That's what I do for the peeps. That's how we hold it down, up, in the middle somewhere. Levitating, together. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, bring some excitement to your bedrooms. Bring some excitement to your lives. Bring some excitement to your living rooms by sharing these videos with your family. Where'd you think we were gonna go? Just because I said bedroom for a second, you thought, oh, this is gonna go to, no, this is a family gathering event. We're a syndicate, we're a gang. We're a gang of people who will exchange underwear, I think. Because, why would you want to own it when you can just use it and pass it on? Will there be ringworms involved? Will there be rashes? Listen, once you spend $500,000 to $1 million, you're making an investment. What is it? Let me ask you this: what is an extra $5 to $15 spent on ointments to treat the said ringworms and rashes? Is it not worth it to get the full experience? Because, like I said, once I get these things, I'm not the one that does the dry cleaning with these things. Once it comes, because I'll send it out dirty, I'll receive it even dirtier, unless the person is nice enough to do the dry cleaning. But I don't expect people to once again go and get into the middle of the desert, just trying to like air dry that dry cleaning. You know what I'm talking about? Just getting ashy and just drying it like sun dried. Clothing. I don't need you to do all that. Just send it back as is in a Ziploc bag that we'll provide for you, and then I will resend that back out. So every time it comes into this is getting dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, and every time it just keeps going back, there is probably more chances of dirt and bacteria. We're making a culture essentially together. That's a whole thing of its own. It's growing. You say that's mold, and I'm proud of that. Fucking proud of that. We did that. You and I did that. Is there anything we can't achieve? Because we did form culture. Like, it's growing. For better or worse, it is growing. You can get rid of it at any time you want, of course. We can stop this. We can stop this anytime, and it stops with like, oh man, you know what? I'm just gonna forget about name brands. I'm just gonna forget about. I'll just like, I'll own what I own. Doesn't have to be name brand. Doesn't have to be, schmance. We can stop it together right now, or we can scale it and grow it together. Whichever way you choose, I will be there. I'm right there with you right now. Danke schön, darling, danke schön. Thank you for all the joints and paint. Can I lick that taint? Ain't it great? It's innate. Shooting straight. Boys and girls, I hope you guys have had a smile. I hope you guys had a silly time. Because that's what we do around here. We just have the silliest of times. We just talk about everything. We saved a couple of marriages out there that were on the brink of just like, oh man, should I stay or should I go? You're staying, because now the added element of dirty laundries in your coat pocket, mister, you're welcome. Ladies, we've also managed to create some jobs out there. Of course, some people who are not aware of this situation can now fully take advantage and either work on your own, or we can collaborate too. That's the thing. Oh, think about all the dirty laundries. That's what I'm saying. Scalable to the roof. And if this takes off, who knows? We might even come up with a new monkeypox of our own for everybody. You know what I mean? And you're like, that's not good. But what if we get into the vaccine business as well? Somehow. I know it's not related, but once you create it, then you're gonna have to remedy it somehow. Think big. But like a positive virus. We'll put like a jock itch, or like a vaginal yeast infection that'll make you smarter, or that'll make you faster. We're working on it together, I'm sure. Again, through mixing, through not washing, we can get there. Is it worth it? I think so. Definitely think so. Yes, there's a market for it. We can make it even bigger if we work together. Shark Tank. Once again, I like to reach out to Dragon's Breath and put it all on the table. If you're listening out there, 5149. I'm 51, you're 49. I could have started higher, you're saying? I had way more leverage than 90-10, dude. 95, 95-5. Too much? Too much. I went too much. 75-25. That's what I'm saying. 75-25. That is my final offer. 60-40. 60-40. You're twisting my arm here, fella. Okay, all right. 51-49. 51-49. I still keep the whatever it is that the 51% hold. I get the seat, dude. I get a chair. I get a chief executive officer. I get one. I want one. I want a chief executive officer. You get one, right? With 51%, you get one. What do they do? How do I use them? It's mine, right? I can do anything with it, right? It's my chief executive officer. You're like, no, that's not how it works. You know everything, don't you? How do they work? It's like, seriously, how do they work? Do you become one? Do you become one? Do I become one? Can one just be like? Because I'm not I don't know if I'm chiefing out there, dude. If I'm chiefing, I think that's borderline cultural appropriation, even though I say we're all one human culture, but chief executive officer, a chief, I gotta have a tribe. Gotta be a chief of a tribe, and I need to be an executive. And I need to have executive abilities, which is chief, because chief is easy. I know what a chief is, dude. You know what I mean? Hey chief, I know what a chief is. You're a chief. I'm a chief. We're chiefs. Of a tribe, of a gang. We are a gang. This does work. Yes, no, this works. Chief, And then we know what a chief is, right? Head of a gang. Where's that? You see a gang, you're like, where's the head? Right there. Chief. So we know what that is. Executive means why don't you tell me what it means? For once, why don't you say what it means instead of me telling you what it means? Executive means like right there. Why don't we just move along to the ones that we do know, and then we'll come back to the ones that we don't know? Officer, chief executive officer, okay? You know what an officer is. An officer is a person, clearly, who indulges in offices. Dare I say, dabbles in cubicles and offices. Glass walls in this office. Because we like to all be feeling like we're all one team in this office as a chief, head of the gang, office connoisseur. I admire offices. I like walls. But I like to step outside those walls. I like to break the walls sometimes. Metaphorically speaking, I like to be outside the box. So maybe I'm not a good, oh man, I'm getting boxed in right here in this office. Oh man, I don't want to be in office. It's like, too many, oh no, I can't do it. But like, executiveness, and that's what that is, baby. Oh man, I'll get one. I will get one. I'll get one. And together we can take this and just keep on going. Where? Into the horizon, you and I, flying high in the sky, baby boys, baby girls. Once again, we've kept it silly. We've had fun together. It's Wednesday. I'll be back here again on Friday. Spread the word, because we're spreading like fungi. We're spreading like the rarest of the rarest. Man, there's like, you know, in ice caps, in the glaciers in Antarctica, there's old, probably like new viruses, gases that'll one day potentially melt. The ice caps will melt maybe, and then like a little fart bubble will come up, and it'll just like, oh, a new thing. We're like that thing. We're like nature's farts. Queefing. I'll be back here again on Friday. Talk about it. Instagram, YouTube, Patreon. Follow your boy. Subscribe. See you soon. Peace out.